So I get a lot of questions on what I use for my live edge or my raw wood edge. This is what I use: Polygem epoxy, basically like sculpting clay, parts A and B, and a thickener. And you just take equal parts of A and B, and you lay out some of that thickener. I'll show you guys here in just a minute how to mix it, and then we can apply it straight onto our edge, and then I texture it with texture mats. We'll get to all that here in a minute. All right, get back to you guys in just a few. Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how we mix up this epoxy clay from Polygem. Normally I have like a pizza box, but I don't have any. I've used them all. So I'm just gonna do it right here on the plastic. But if you guys have ever made biscuits or rolls from scratch, it's kind of like doing that. So you're gonna spread you out a bunch of this thickener, and you're gonna spread it out a little bit. Maybe chunk up some of the chunks a little bit if they're chunky. If it sits for a while, it may get a little chunky. And spread you out a good little working area. A little pizza box works out perfect, and you don't make it too bad of a mess. I think that'll be enough to do what we're gonna do. Then you want to get equal amounts of A and B, pretty close. It ain't got to be exact. It's gonna be a little too much. You got plenty of working time, but it will start to go off after about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so. You'll start to feel it get warm, but you got plenty of working time, so don't get in a panic. Maybe it's a little bit more. Maybe I should have stuck with the first blob I had. We'll call that good. We're gonna take part B, a little bit thicker. I tried to warm it up a little bit this morning, but I don't think it worked real good. Let's get pretty close. Let's eyeball it out pretty good. Maybe just a touch more. B. I think that looks pretty close. Okay, and what I like to do is I'll spread this stuff out. This powder helps it not stick to you or stick to the plastic like flour does when you're making biscuits. I'll flatten out A. It's really runny, really soft. Not runny, it's just really soft. Then I'll take B and lay it out right on top of it. Sprinkle some thickener on that. I'll kind of spread that out on top of A. Sprinkle a little bit, then I'll start rolling it up. I'm gonna roll it, stick into my plastic a little bit. That's why you want plenty of the thickener. And I fold it in half, and you just want to keep working it. And I'll keep smashing it together, adding a little bit of thickener, keep it from sticking to my gloves. I'll keep folding it, adding a little bit as I go. Keep on just sticking in my plastic a little bit. Just keep on working it. Keep on working it. It will get to a point to where you can pick it up and it won't be sticking so bad to your gloves, and you can start working. We're almost there right now. Start getting a little sticky, just throw a little bit more thickener on there. feel it start to get like a piece of clay. It'll get to where you can roll it in a ball and it'll feel nice. We're just about there right now. Make sure everything's all one color, nice uniform color. It should be like a light gray, no dark streaks, no light streaks. Kind of like when you guys mix up Bondo. All right, we got that. Okay, now we got it mixed up. There's our clay. We're gonna just start applying it to our edge. I went through last night and cut my edges with a utility knife to give them a nice natural look to them. I never did that. Usually I just sand them a little bit to get rid of that straight edge, because you really want to overlap this clay on top of the countertop. You really want to bring it up past this edge so that when you go and sand it, you don't have any voids or you don't see a straight line of the MDF like down here on this edge that's not anything done to it. So when you get your clay on, kind of work your thickness, kind of gauge how thick it is. You don't want it real thick. You don't want it too thin. You want to be able to leave nice impressions with your mats, depending on what you're going for. I really want to make a mat of a nice chiseled edge. Maybe I should go to some shops and look and see if they have any scrap pieces. That'd be a good idea. I should try that. Note to self. Anyway, I'm doing the same thing underneath, really rolling it under that edge so that it gets all the way underneath and you don't have any MDF showing. You won't see no straight edge. And to smooth it out, you just take a little bit of water. That's what I have in this bowl right up here, is just regular old water. And you wet your gloves and this stuff will start to work just like clay, like molding clay, sculpting clay. It's pretty cool. Just wet your gloves a little bit, move on down the line, get it all wet. Don't take a lot. And you can smooth out your edges, smooth out your face. Make sure you get it up on your edge real good. Underneath, make sure it's wrapping. Underneath real good. And you got plenty of working time. I'll get this whole board covered before I even start texturing. So you don't have to do it in phases. You don't have to hurry up and get it done because it's going to dry too quick. When it's hot, summertime, you might do it in little sections, but it usually don't do too bad in the heat. So, and this stuff is incredibly strong. The first job I used this on, I set everything up in the customer's garage. As a matter of fact, that video is on my YouTube page, I believe. We call it the Marble Madness job. And I had the backsplashes set up, and they were done out of 3/4 inch, pretty heavy duty. And I did the whole top edge like this, and I was squeezing around our benches where we had all these things set up, and I got a bigger rear end than most. I kept knocking this one little 3-foot backsplash off, and 3 times it fell from about 3.5 foot and landed on the stamped edge and didn't do a thing to it. Didn't chip it, didn't do nothing. We even did a little experiment about 5 days after we did some of this, and my buddy held on to this little ball we made with some pliers, some channel locks, and he took a little sledgehammer and took a swing at it, and that thing ricocheted around that garage like a bullet fired from a gun. End result, didn't even put a dent in it. So it's incredibly tough. It's incredibly shock resistant. It's great stuff. So I'm going to finish getting all this on. You just really want to make sure you get some good coverage on it. Make sure you got enough clay so when you use your mat, it takes a really nice texture. Smooth out this one last little section. Then we're going to do a little magic edit, and I'll come back when I get ready to stamp this stuff. All right, catch you guys on the flip side. Here's just a small sample of some of my texture mats. These two mats I made probably 15 years ago from Polytech Rubber, Polygel 35 to be exact. This mat is a polyurethane, I believe, and it was given to me by a customer on a big artificial remodel I did. Normally I do my textures out of these mats here, a lot lower relief, kind of the smoother, but I kind of want to do something different. Some of the relief on this mat is just way too aggressive. My epoxy clay is not near deep enough to take that. But there are some sections right in here that I really like, that I think will give me a really nice edge. Something a little bit different than what I've been doing, which is what I'm always trying to do. Change it up. Find better ways. And just have some options. And I could always do a little combination between this one and this one, or this one. These two are actually the same. They were made on the same rock. These veins actually were the same vein, and I just split it into different textures. Anyway, that's a whole nother deal. All right, I'm gonna get set up and show you guys how we put some texture on this clay. Okay, so this part has probably been on here maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe. It's still soft, not real soft, but pretty soft. So we're gonna try doing this new mat. This sucker's heavy. We're gonna try to get some of this section right here on there. And with this epoxy clay, the only release you need is water. So you spray your surface, and you want to spray your section of your mat. And you can do this a couple ways. You can try to hold the mat up there. Sometimes it bobbles and it drops. This mat's kind of heavy, so I'm just going to try to get my section that I want lined up. And I'm going to wrap it over, and then we're going to apply some pretty good pressure. Take a peek. Oh no, this one might be just a little too aggressive, a little too. Yeah, no, I'm not liking that one at all. So we're gonna go back to the old tried and true. you don't like what you did right there, it's wet, you can just smooth it back out. All right, so let's try that again. We'll do the same thing. We're going to spray our mat a little bit, spray our surface. You can take a little peek at it, see where you may have missed some spots. That little section right there. Focus. All right. And we just keep on moving down the line. So I'll wet it again. Sometimes you get some of it built up on your mat a little bit. I'll show you. Like that right there. So I'll just take my shop towel, wipe it off. And just do it again. So we're going to spray it, spray our mat. Somebody may wonder what's wrong with my left hand. You probably noticed that floppy fish thing flopping around there. I had a disease when I was really young called Guillain-Barré syndrome. Affected my left arm, my left hand the worst. But such is life. I still did everything I wanted to do and still do. So don't let anything slow you down. Stuck my finger in it. And you just go along and check it. If you don't like you have enough in a section, man, you can just keep applying it and doing your deal till you get what you're after. See where I stuck my finger in it right there, so we'll just touch that up. Can't even tell. See there? Now you get to be someplace like on this corner right here. You can bring in one of your other mats or that one mat that has a little vein on it. This one has a vein. You can see the vein on it. And if you want to, you can try putting a little vein action in it. Right here, we can really sink that vein. Not too crazy about that vein right now. Can't manipulate this back. Make it what we want. Wiping off some of that off my mat. I need to get this thing to stop moving. That one's not bad. We'll take it. Get a couple different bats, add a little bit more variety to this thing. I'm just super picky, can't help it. It's in my nature. Another mat that I made. This has got a lot of different options. This one does. It's just a big mat. It needs to be a lot smaller for doing countertops. This was stuff I made when I was doing big waterfalls, making big giant boulders. So we'll go ahead and try this one out and break up the monotony a little bit, break up the pattern. little something different, a little different flavor. A little different, just a little bit different pattern. Just a little bit different. See a spot over here I'm not real happy with. It would be this little spot. Let's see. This little spot right there. Let's do something smaller. Since it's got a little more control. I like it. Brought another one. This mat, this is a latex mat, and it's been eaten up by liquid release. That's what I use when I'm doing cement work. Liquid release is a petroleum-based product, and so it just eats this up. If you look at it really close, man, this thing is probably 30 years old. To say I've got my money's worth out of it is an understatement. But like, I was thinking we might be able to take sections of it. Let's see if it'll do it. Let's see if we can get it to do it. We'll do what we call a double print. We take two different mats and you try to create something totally unique. So let's see. I'm gonna try to do this little section right here. And we'll try to blend it on top of this stuff just to see what it looks like. We're gonna come in, just press that in there really good. We don't want to completely override the other texture. We could definitely add some character to it. Let's see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? I have to smooth it out and redo it. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. Definitely broke up the monotony a little bit. Let's come right back over here. Let's do a little bit more. Let's try to put this crazy, see part of this crazy vein? Let's try to use some of that guy. Give this thing a little bit of flow, a little bit of grain, a little bit of movement. We don't have to get crazy. I'm just using my fingertips. Kind of just to work that vein into there, work it all the way over and all the way underneath. See how we get. Ooh. Let's get a little bit right here on this guy. He's screaming at me too. Let's get a little bit of that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Down the line. Got a section that's really smooth, kind of plain. I'd really like to try to get something off this big monster mat, but it's just so hard. Let's try it. Let's try to do like a little section, a little piece. Okay, we're going to try to do some more of that. Right there. You know, this would be a mix and match stone. Right there. Go down this whole face right here. I can do some of that stuff. I think I can get away with a lot of it. I really want some of that chunkier effect that I get out of this. Oh, not like that though. It's not how we want to get the chunky. Time need a change. Breaking my back, working double shifts. You gotta have good music, man. You gotta have music when you're being creative, just my opinion. But man, I cannot work without music. I love it. It's in my blood. My daddy played music. I play a little music. As long as I got music playing, it's never work. It's just been something I've always thought. See, All right. Pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. Yeah. Happy, happy, happy. All right. Let's keep on rocking. Try to incorporate some of this crazy. We'll do like a horizontal vein doing this bottom. Do this piece right here. We're gonna do that right across there. Yes, I'm getting the MDF wet. I don't soak it, so it don't hurt it. I haven't had any problems yet anyway, so but I try not to soak it. Get it too wet. I've always thought one of those rollers, they have these texture rollers you can get, and I always thought those would be good. Man, I can just roll it on. I need to get one of those and try it out. Go through, touch it up. We'll still touch it up a little bit. We ain't done yet. We ain't done. Don't judge yet. Don't judge yet. I ain't giving up just yet. We're still moving right along. We're good. We are going to spice it up just a little bit again. Don't worry. liked this guy right here. We're going to try to do a little bit more of him. Start about right here. Big gnarly section right there, and I'd love to get in there like that. I got some of it in there. I don't know if I like that. Don't know. Let's see if we can liven it up just a little bit. I'm not real sure. I don't think I like that. What's it look like in video? It didn't look too bad in video. I don't know. We're gonna leave it. I'm kind of on the fence. I think it'll color up nice. I think when I sand it just a little bit, I'll smooth up some of that, and I think that'll look really nice in the grand scheme of things. So then I just go down the line here, look at some different stuff, make sure I ain't got no thumbprints or something that just looks totally man-made. I think I'm pretty happy. Do a little walk through here, the edge. I went through and touched up a couple spots. Didn't have any pressure of an audience. See that stuff right there? Give that a light sanding a little bit, knock down some of those little sharp edges, kind of give it a worn, weathered look to it. That's nice. I really like that a lot. All right, a lot of you guys wanted to know. Now you know. Well, Melissa, here's your stone-faced edge. Have to do a little light sanding on it. Make sure there's no little boogers that catch or scratch. All right, hope you like it. When I'm done, I just take my water hose, I'll spray off my mats so none of that epoxy clay dries onto my mats. Like that.